until now, I thought the right thing to do was to never engage in conflict. Like, if you're engaging in conflict, you have a problem. That is huge. I'm actually having this realization live today. So I've seen a bunch of examples of people that I really respect engaging in conflict, and I was like, wow, they engage in conflict? It was like bewildering to me. Like, I was like, shouldn't you like not be reacting? Shouldn't you be like grounded and present and like, you know, positive and peaceful? Thinking like that conflict equals like you're at fault. Like, if there's conflict, you're at fault is the thing that I had in my head. But I'm just recently realizing that, like, if there's conflict, you need to engage with it. Don't react to it. Stay grounded. Stay present. Don't react to it. Don't have an emotional reaction and fly off the handle and say a bunch of shit you can't unsay or do anything drastic. But engage in that conflict. Stand your ground. And I've done it heaps of times in my life. I've stood my ground when I felt like I absolutely have to, when somebody's backed me into a corner. And I'm like, nah, I'm not putting up with this. But every time I've walked away feeling like I did something wrong, like I could have handled it better. But the thing is, when you have a disagreement, you're having a disagreement. Like, you can't transcend that. Like, you can't just like fucking positive it away. Like, so that's what I'm realizing right now. Like, that when something really matters to you and somebody does something that you're not happy with, that is the beginning of the conflict. It's not your fault if you don't like it. Like, it's okay to not like stuff. It's okay to not like people. It's okay if your values don't match with the people around you and shit. So I'm in this whole moment where I'm realizing that conflict is so important. Like, I need to engage in conflict when there's a good reason to. When my boundaries are violated, or when somebody does wrong by me, I need to address that. I can't just walk away from it and be the bigger man. Like, that's not real in that instance. Like, there are absolutely times where the conflict isn't worth it. But if you have to deal with the consequences of not engaging in the conflict for the rest of your life, it's just going to get worse and worse. And that's happened to me. And I've been going around in circles in my head for years, really, trying to figure out, like, what am I doing wrong when it comes to this? Like, what am I doing wrong? Trying to figure out, like, what I shouldn't have done. And then the answer finally came to me that there's nothing that you shouldn't have done. Like, it's not that you did the wrong thing by standing up for yourself. It's that you should have done it sooner. And you should have done it more boldly. And you should have done it with more, you should have backed yourself. You don't have to put up with shit. Like, you don't have to deal with people who feel like they can just do whatever they want in your life. And like, when there's consequences for you and your reality, and people just want to like come in and like, you know, have their influence over that, and you don't agree, like, don't agree. And that's like such a very important insight to be having right now. I feel like it's like, it's hitting me hard, and it's hitting me as like important, because like, you know, we're living in a world where people are having disagreements and shit, and we've got to talk about it, where there's got to be conflict. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this, that's what I'm saying, like, it's not this out of control conflict thing. It becomes out of control when you don't address it in the first place. When you avoid the conflict, it becomes out of control. There's all this stuff building up beneath the surface, all this stuff that's like bubbling in our awareness, bubbling in our heart. So like, we're not feeling good about the world, or we're not feeling good about each other, and we're not having those big conversations. I came up here exactly for that, because I was like, it would be really dramatic if a big wave comes over. Well, I'm like, conflict! Because I'm just having a bit more fun with the videos lately, in case you haven't noticed.